This is JG Hertzler. You're listening to NX7062 Podcast.
Hello, it is time for the NX7062 Podcast, and first in tonight is Magic Lasso. Hello, Lasso. Lasso, you changed your YouTube icon. I like it from what I can see. I'll have to go check it out a little closer when I am off the air, but hello, Lasso. And see, look, this is red. I told you I could find something red because Lasso basically said I don't think he would be coming tonight if I wasn't wearing something red in honor of Valentine's Day. So I did. I dug up one of my red shirts. And let's just hope that I can survive from now to the end of the podcast because Lasso, hey, Blue, how are you? Happy day after Shuttlepod 1 day. Woo! Did you go watch the podcast? Because it was awesome. Table read, haha. No, we'll definitely be talking about that later. So glad to see you, Blue. Let's see, what else was I just, oh my gosh, speaking of the Shuttlepod show, hi! Oh my gosh, I am so honored to have you here. Thank you so much. You guys were so great last night. Hi Travis, happy Valentine's Day. It was so great to watch the show last night. And oh well, thank you very much. Valentine's Day, see, red. Yep, there you go. Blue watched and loved it. So I think Lasso, we've had this conversation before with you here, but I'm going to refresh your memory. Red shirts in Star Trek are actually usually sort of like a not good. Usually if you wear a red shirt, especially if you were in the original series, that was pretty much wear a red shirt, go on an away mission, you die. But because you've been such a great supporter, Lasso, and because it is Valentine's Day, I am willing to take that risk with you. So let's see, Travis, thank you so much. I hope everybody is enjoying their Valentine's Shuttlepod show. We loved the bio on Connor. If not for Valentine's Day, he'd be here. We'll have him on soon. Oh my God, that is amazing. Thank you so much. He is one of my favorite people. Haha, red shirt. I would be honored. I've had him and Dominic actually have done the show before for me. So, and honestly, if I knew you guys were coming, I would have played different intros, but I'll play a different outro for you if you stick around to the end, which I would love. I would have loved it if Connor could have been here. That would have been great. But he is always welcome. Everybody is welcome here. The one rule of thumb that I have, and I've said this before, is there are so many Trek podcasts out there. Obviously mine and so many others. But Trek is such a wide universe. It is so diverse. It has so many things that you can talk about that I share the love with all the other podcasts that are out there. There's no competition here, just love and support. And Podcat, my little guy who you've seen. So anyway, that is the rule of thumb here. Is, in fact, I sometimes call myself the Seventh Rule After Party because I know the Seventh Rule podcast is going to be wrapping up in a little bit, and a lot of the Seventh Rule people come over here, but I could also call myself the Shuttlepod Show After Party if you guys keep on doing Sunday nights, and I would love to do that too. So, what is going on in the world of Enterprise? Or in the world of Star Trek, I should say. See, you got me all Enterprise thinking. But what's going on in the world of Star Trek? Well, turns out that Simon Pegg is a Valentine's baby. And all of the things that we know about Simon Pegg, he played Scotty in the Kelvin universe. Yes, it does. It definitely needs whiskey. And gee, I wonder what brand we should be drinking. But Simon Pegg is a huge fan of Star Trek. And he actually, besides playing Scotty in the 3 Kelvin movies, he wrote Beyond, which is my favorite Kelvin one. Basically because of the myriad of Enterprise references, including Mako's and the Xindi conflict. Okay, I will make a note. Oh, thank you, Blue. I appreciate that. Always appreciate all the love. There's so much love, and I will definitely go look at that tweet, just not now because nobody wants to see my resting doing something else face, because I can sort of multitask, but nobody wants to see that face while I'm trying to look something up online and talk to you guys. It's just not cool. So Simon Pegg's birthday is today, and he's also participated in, he's got some Star Wars credits on IMDb, but personally for me, outside of Star Trek, I love Simon Pegg in Shaun of the Dead and in Paul, which ended and started at New York Comic Con. What else is going on in the world of Star Trek? Well, for anybody that actually watched that sporting event yesterday, I didn't have a team playing, so I had no interest in it. Had other things going on yesterday. But if you did, at the very beginning, right before the Super Bowl started, there was the second trailer for Doctor Strange in the multiverse. And if you listened really closely, you might have heard a familiar voice with a British accent. The one and only Sir Patrick Stewart. So he will be hopefully reprising his role as Professor X. Maybe the X-Men exist in one of the other multiverses. You know how they kind of pulled all the Spider-Men in for No Way Home? Maybe they're going to pull the X-Men in. So let's keep our fingers crossed that Sir Pat Stew has more than one line in what looks to be an amazing Marvel movie coming up. So the other things that we're going to be talking about right now, let's see, I promised to talk about disco. So we're going to talk about disco because it is back. And I know we've talked about this on previous shows. A lot of us are old school. We want our seasons to start in September and end in May with maybe a winter break in between. None of this half season stuff. Like you get half Prodigy, then you get half Voyager, then you get half Prodigy, because you kind of lose the story. There's definitely kind of a disconnect when you go from one to the other and then back again. Let's see, Blue is proud. I didn't learn who won until the next day at nearly noon. I was able to avoid it. Congratulations. Honestly, if Tom Brady had been in it or my Patriots had been in it, I would have watched. But when I don't watch football if I can't like really feel it and really root for people because they're my team. I don't watch sporting events. That's just how I am. So let's see. What else do we have going on? Hold on. My phone was going off and I didn't want it to, forgot to mute it before the show. All right. So what else we got going on? Disco. Who watched Disco? Because it was on Thursday, which means we're rolling into spoilers. Because I believe spoilers, 48 hours after something airs, it's fair to spoil a little bit. So, Lasso. Yes, I did watch Shuttlepod one day, and yes, even if the Patriots had been playing, I probably would have stopped and definitely tuned in because Star Trek is up here and football's down here. I guarantee that. Absolutely. I did watch Shuttlepod one day. I would have picked that over the Super Bowl, but fortunately, I didn't even have to make that choice. Let's see. So, Book and Michael on Discovery. We had Book and Michael, and I liked it. They were adversarial because they both wanted that special isotope, but then they both agreed that the Emerald Chain couldn't get it. So they teamed up to beat the Emerald Chain, and then they were back to being adversaries. And I liked it. I liked that neither one really wanted to give in, that they both were standing their ground on what they believed. I don't like easy conflict resolutions because it never seems genuine. Oh, there you go. Disco instead of football. That works. Oh, wait. Sorry. You watch Shuttlepod show instead of disco, Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Star Trek wins out over football, like I said, unless the Patriots had been playing, but I probably would have paused it. So what else did I like about Discovery? Okay, I am going to massacre her last name. I swear to gosh. Owako, see, they used to just call her Owa, I think, and then they decided that it would be much nicer to use her full last name. So, anyway, I'm gonna flub it. So anyway, but that fight that she had, where she kept getting up and going back and getting up and going back was very Rocky IV. But I also think she did it on purpose. I think she knew that if she kept losing and going back in, that her odds would go, the odds of her winning would go up. And they ended up at 45-1, and then she won. So they got all the latinum that they needed. So I think that was the plan. I really think that was the plan. The other thing I love about Discovery is the domesticity. Like, you get to see these relationships with all the different characters, like Kubler and Stamets, and that whole thing where Kubler was like scrubbing the house, even though it's scrubbing their quarters, even though they had the little robot guy to do it, because he was fed up and he was nervous and he was scared and he was, and he blamed himself for Book. So he's going to clean because he needed something to do to kind of help, clear his mind. And I love that. And I loved how Stamets was like, let's just go for a walk. I love how they stop the main action, and then they take these moments to show you how the actions are affecting the characters on a very personal level. I mean, if you're going to have people in relationships on the show, then I absolutely want to see how their relationships are outside of just, them passing in the hall and saying hi to each other as they're on their way to their respective jobs. I had the plan the second she said, I have an idea. Yeah, exactly. It had to be the plan. What else? Let's see. Oh yeah, and Stamets is finally getting along with Zora. I love how they got past their differences and they worked it out. Stamets and the ship are now, they're working out their relationship issues, and I think that's great. I love that she's AI. I love the fact that they have a sentient ship. I think that just kind of takes the notion of data to a whole nother level. And I absolutely love it. And I love that Zora has forgiven Stamets. Obviously, she's helping him out. And she wants to be there for him. And I love how she's forgiven him. And I think that that's amazing. Let's see. And Burnham totally hustled the fight. I absolutely agree with you, Blue. Absolutely. Okay, so that's my recap of Disco. I don't want to get too much into it because, yeah, I'm warning about spoilers. Absolutely. But I don't want to get too spoilery because it really still hasn't been a week yet. But the other thing that I promised before we get to the main topic of conversation, Baby Yoda, because I know that Lasso is Star Wars, and Lasso and I have been watching Boba Fett, and I hope you guys have been watching Book of Boba Fett, because the last few episodes were literally just Mandalorian episodes, and Baby Yoda, and this is a spoiler because this one's a week old. This one's almost a week old. Baby Yoda's back. He's been reunited with the Mandalorian, and they did it in such an incredible way. And it was so cute and adorable. And he didn't save the day, but he definitely had a hand in helping save the day. Because the other cool thing about the final episode of Book of Boba Fett was that Boba Fett rode a freaking Rancor. Now, for those of you that may not remember, the Rancor is what tried to eat Luke Skywalker in Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. And Boba Fett got one from some Hutts as a present. And it turns out that you can train them and you can ride them. And we haven't seen him since Boba Fett got him. And Boba Fett disappears and comes back, and he's riding a Rancor, baby. And I thought, outside of Baby Yoda coming back, I thought that was probably the coolest scene, is to see that the Rancor show up with Boba Fett. And then when Baby Yoda kind of communicated through the Force with the Rancor, and then crawled up next to him and went to sleep. But it just proves the theory that everybody and their brother knew that there was absolutely no stinking way that they were going to be able to have the Mandalorian without Baby Yoda. Nobody would watch. It's the Baby Yoda show, and they knew that. So before we get into the main oh, you know what? The other thing that I totally forgot to mention, and this kind of rolls into Enterprise stuff, but how many else of you out there have seen that Lexus has an NX SUV? They have an NX class. I'm going to call it an NX class. They have an NX class SUV. I don't know how I didn't know this before, but they have been really, really, really pushing them lately. So I've just been seeing these commercials, and I'm like, yeah, I could use an NX SUV. Absolutely. But unfortunately, their first model year was 2016, and even used 2016 Lexuses are really out of my price range, and anyone that would have fallen into my price range probably would not have been worth buying. My mechanic would have probably just told me to walk away because he really likes to do that. It's one of the reasons he's my mechanic. So the other thing that I wanted to let you guys know, and I was kind of waiting for Faith to show up. I don't know if she's here because she could be here and just not chatting, but that's usually not how Faith rolls. But I had a really topsy-turvy week last week. It was just a roller coaster ride. But the one real big high point of the week, and I promised to share it tonight because I was so excited about it. Y'all know I'm going to be in LA on this weekend for Gallifrey 1, Woohoo Doctor Who. That's the other reason Faith and I could have been talking Doctor Who. Going to be here for Doctor Who. And they always add a couple extra people from other sci-fi shows to kind of round it out. And they had mentioned that they were going to try and do that this year. And they announced on the 5th on their Facebook page that they are adding Andrew Robinson, Garrick from Deep Space Nine, and the one and only and co-host of the Shuttlepod show, Dominic Keating, is going to be there on Friday to sign autographs and do photo ops. He is only there on Friday. I'm really excited. Unfortunately, I would tell you all to run out and get tickets, but they were only doing pre-sales, so I don't think there's any tickets available at the door. I just know that was pretty much a big highlight for my week. I was very excited for the fact that I might actually get a chance to go say hi to Dominic. Yeah, I know, right? I was very pleasantly surprised that he's going to be there. Actually, when I was there 2 years ago, once again working with Lambda Quadrant, Connor was there. They did a whole Star Trek thing. Connor was there, Nicole DeBoer was there, Jeffrey Combs was there, Anthony Montgomery was there. I feel like I'm missing somebody, but I don't think I am. Nicole, Connor, Anthony, and Jeff. Oh, and Bob O'Reilly was there just for Friday night, but Saturday they had those guys. So, yeah, so I got to see Connor there a couple years ago, and I was very pleasantly surprised that they added Dominic Keating for this one. So that's gonna be a fun weekend. I am really looking forward to LA. Like I said, I had a really big roller coastery week, so I'm really looking forward to LA. I'm looking forward to a lot coming up this week. So now it is time, and Blue and I were there. We saw it. It was Shuttlepod show. It was the launch of this new podcast starring, as I've said a couple times, Connor Trenier and Dominic Keating. And this week, to kick things off, yesterday was the 20th anniversary of the first airing, the premiere of Shuttlepod 1, which a lot of people consider one of the best Enterprise episodes. It is, yeah, it's in my top 5. It's definitely in my top 5. It's what they used to call an elevator show, or I think Dominic mentioned on the podcast a bottle show, which is basically when a show like Enterprise or any other show like kind of blows their budget for the season, and they're looking to kind of cut back. They do these shows where they don't need a lot. There were no guest stars really. And it was either in the Shuttlepod and then a couple of scenes on the Enterprise, and that was it. Bottle show. Yep. A 2-hander. There you go. And yet it was, yeah, these shows are made to be budget friendly, but when you have a show that was written as well as Shuttlepod 1 was written, and you've got Connor and Dominic playing Trip and Malcolm so well, then that's all you really need is just solid acting and a solid script, and everything else is just secondary. And that's exactly what these guys did with this particular episode. And to see them sitting at a table with Gary Graham, special guest Gary Graham as Captain Archer, sitting around this table and doing this table read of the show on its 20th anniversary was amazing. I mean, Connor and Dominic fell right back into those characters. Something that I think I'd like to ask them, if I get the chance, is that, this was the episode that cemented their relationship on the show. And probably also helped the two actors, who are obviously still very good friends, cement their relationship too, living through the torture that was filming this episode, because they actually made it very cold in that shuttle pod. That wasn't CGI. That wasn't anything but them freezing and drinking hot tea so that you could see their breath. That cemented their friendship, but their characters over the next 3.5 years really grew, and had a very different relationship from Shuttlepod 1 forward. So now they're doing this 20 years later, they're doing it all over again. They didn't just have to recreate the characters, but they kind of had to step back in time with their characters, because the characters were very different from the day that they ended and the day that they shot Shuttlepod 1. So I'm just wondering how much it took to kind of not, because you didn't just have to recreate Malcolm and Trip. You had to recreate Malcolm and Trip at that point in their relationship where they were still a little adversarial. So I'd love to talk to them about that. All right, Blue, what do you got for me? Favorite Trek shows are those like, I love learning more about the characters. Yep, absolutely agree. It goes back to Discovery, where you get those chances to see how the actors are outside of their roles on the ship. Did more bottle episodes like this. Yeah, but Trek Today, they probably, I don't know. I think they're scared. Personal opinion, you're right. Those are the amazing episodes, but then with all the technology and everything, and kind of everybody's spoiled for those effects, could they pull it off? Would good writing and less effects be enough to satisfy today's audience is the question. Like, are we the core audience still, or are they looking? We need to sit the current live action Trek writers down in a room and make them watch this episode. There you go. Let's just gather them all up. Let's see, the other thing that I absolutely loved. Oh, wait, I shouldn't gloss over. They did have a lovely actress named Erica LaRose. She took on the role of T'Pol. And then they had, I didn't quite get the name, I have to admit. I think it's something like Aston Berry. Shuttlepod, if you're still here, who did the voice of Hoshi? I couldn't quite hear it when I did the rewatch. But they do have a supporting cast for these table reads, so that was very cool. Let's see. The other thing I liked is that they bookended the read with stories from. They chatted in the beginning. They chatted at the end. It was very free flowing, and there were actually some new stories. There's a story that Connor likes to tell that you might have heard at conventions, and I think I've mentioned it here. Before. The story that he tells about stealing the bottles from the Star Trek party, the Enterprise party, and Rick Berman calls him like the next day and he thinks he's fired, and it's only about changing his name to Spike. I mentioned it in the Connor Trenier profile episode a couple weeks ago. And I don't want to spoil it, but he actually added to that story. There were things that, and I hadn't heard, that you guys probably haven't heard. I'm going to keep my lips zipped because I really want you guys to go experience this table read. What I personally love for myself is that I have YouTube on my TV. So I like to actually watch it on TV so I can watch it on the big screen. So that was kind of fun to, just click into my YouTube channel and watch it there. Let's see, what else? There's the only thing I missed, honestly, was Where My Heart Will Take Me. That would have been so cool if there was some way that they could have played it. But then if there were licensing issues, YouTube would have just pulled it. But that would have been cool to have the theme play through. And the only other thing that I could say, and like I said, I love this show and it's the inaugural show, so I get that. But I would have loved to have been able to interact with the other fans that were watching it when it dropped. And I know YouTube, because I've done it here, YouTube does this really cool premiere thing where you can upload something and then tell YouTube when to drop it. And then you tell everybody when it's dropping. And then you can do like this live premiere. So us fans could have had a chance to chat. So that's something to think about for the future, because I would have absolutely loved to have seen that and been able to interact with all my Enterprise buds, because I love it. I love finding my Enterprise peeps. I have to be honest. I've loved Enterprise for a very long time. But it wasn't until, recently when I started doing more Facebook stuff and you realize that there are other people that love it too. And it is so much fun when we can get together on YouTube and chat. So having the live chats would have been awesome. But besides that, you know what? It was a great inaugural episode. The timing was perfect for the 20th anniversary. I know. Yep, there you go. Oh, hold on a second. A surprise. Oh, wow. I am all about surprises. So I can vamp. I mean, if I have to sit here, listen, you can see my background. It's the ISS Enterprise from the Mirror Universe because I loved all the Mirror Universes. I loved Inner Mirror Darkly. So I can sit here and totally vamp about Enterprise or Star Trek or Valentine's Day. So I would love a surprise. He is? Oh my God. Seriously? That's amazing. You wouldn't lie to me, would you, Shuttlepod? You really wouldn't lie to me, would you? No, I don't think you would. That is awesome. And I'm assuming by he, you mean the one and only Connor Trinier. I hope. Let's see. Is he like able to do video kind of thing if I send him a link here, or is he just here in the chats? Because I mean, oh yeah, okay, yeah, okay, Connor, if you're listening, which I hope you are, hi. So you and okay, so Trip and Reed, when you guys did Shuttlepod 1, you were at a very specific point in your relationship in that episode, and your relationship really grew from that moment. You guys became the friends that you ended up. Okay, no problem. So you guys, you were very adversarial when it first started. Shuttlepod 1 really, really cemented your relationship with Reed, and then it grew closer, and you had a real bond and a real friendship for the rest of the series. When you guys did the reread for Shuttlepod 1, did you find it a little more difficult? Because it wasn't only just revisiting those characters, but you kind of had to backtrack into their relationship not the way it ended, but the way it was when you guys shot Shuttlepod 1. Was that a little more, did that take a little more thought? Because it was, like I said, it wasn't just like putting on Trip again. It was putting on Trip at a different point in his relationship with Malcolm. So I was just wondering how that went for you, and if there was, if it was a little different it took a little more thought to backtrack, to back yourselves into the Shuttlepod 1 relationship as opposed to where you guys were when the show ended. So I hope you can sort out the chat and I can get an answer. That would be awesome, because that would be so cool. And thank you, Connor, for popping in and for figuring out the chat for me. I also appreciate that. And thank you, Shuttlepod Show, for doing this. This is the best Valentine's present I probably could have asked for. So thank you so much. Well, that and my trip to LA that's happening on Wednesday. Let's see. What else the other thing I liked about the show that I needed to get into. I loved how you guys had the bottle on the table, and when you were talking about drinking, you all drank, and how animated. You guys could have just sat there like this, and everybody would have loved it because it was you guys doing Shuttlepod 1 all over again. But you guys were both very animated. Dominic doing all the hand gestures, and Connor, with all your facial expressions and everything. Which, yeah, that's the other thing I loved, is how animated you made it, and how it really felt like we were all right back there with you in that cramped little space. So, what else is coming up? Oh, while we're waiting for the answer to my question, the other thing that I can talk about is next week's show. I'm still going to be in Vegas. I wish. I'm still going to be in LA. So next week's show is going to be something taped. I haven't quite 100% decided what it's going to be. And I miss you guys so much, but I'm going to be in LA, which means if I was going to do this, it would be in the middle of my last day in LA. It would be 7:00, so it's like dinner time. So I'm planning on doing something fun, but for you guys, so you won't miss me too much. So, all right. So, Blue, do you watch the Baby Yoda shows? Do you watch Boba Fett? Just wondering. And if you don't, what's your favorite Enterprise episode? That's the other thing. What is your favorite Enterprise episode? Because I'm not sure. I know I asked this on a show. I did an Enterprise show a couple weeks ago, but I'm not sure if you were here for that, Blue. So, let's see. You know what? Usually I'm really good at vamping. It's just been, I've been thinking about all day. Honestly, I took a COVID test today. So I was all nervous about it being negative because that would literally have been like the one thing that would have killed me. Is that I was all set to do this trip and then I got a negative COVID test. So, yeah, so it's been a day, guys. It's been a day. But like I said, I am really excited about heading out to Gallifrey. I'm really excited about LA. I love LA. I could sit here. There's actually an I Love LA song that. Oh my gosh, Connor! Hi. It is so good to see you. Thank you so much for popping in. Yes, I do, and I absolutely have no problems repeating it. For the third time, but it's okay, Connor. Thank you so much for being here. Like I told Shuttlepod Show, this is like the best Valentine's present that I could have hoped for today. So thank you so much. Okay, here's the question. In Shuttlepod 1, you guys were, that's kind of where the Trip and Reed relationship really cemented itself. Before Shuttlepod 1, you guys were kind of a little adversarial. You go through this traumatic experience together. This kind of really cements the friendship for Trip and Reed. And as you move forward through the next, 3.5 seasons of Enterprise, the relationship grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. So now, the show ends and you guys are best friends. When you went back to do this read again, it wasn't just about stepping back into character. It was about kind of backtracking into that point in the Trip and Reed relationship, as opposed to where it ended. Did you find that even like maybe a little more difficult, considering how close you and Dominic have gotten, as well as how close Trip and Reed have gotten? Did you find it a little more difficult to kind of pull yourselves back and realize that when you guys were in Shuttlepod, you still hadn't cemented that friendship yet? That's my question. Hey, Travis. Yeah, I won a negative test. Did I say that backwards, Travis? I did get a negative test. It's impossible that I said it backwards. It's so funny because when I was going to the test and I was talking to my mom, she did the same thing. She's like, I really hope for a positive outcome. And I'm like, no, you want a negative outcome from a COVID test. I'm sorry, Travis, thank you for catching that. Like I said, long day. I have a negative COVID test. I am getting on the plane on Wednesday. That's what I wanted to say. Like I said, it's just been a crazy emotional couple of days. But you know what? As always, you guys are also my big Valentine's present, because I always feel the love when I'm on the show, and you guys are so supportive and so amazing, that I really appreciate it. No, I appreciate that, Travis. Thank you so much. I really do. And Blue wants to know if there's going to be more table reads. That would be awesome. Oh, speaking of, yeah, Connor spells his name with an OR at the end, but that could have been autocorrect, and I totally get that. So, yeah, no, but I appreciate that, Travis. Yeah, no, I am clear to get on a plane and go. There we go. More table reads. There we go. You just made Blue's day. You just made Blues Day. Spell check. Yeah, spell check sucks. Spell check totally sucks. Oh my God, I hate that so much. You know what I hate about spell check? I will tell you guys all what I totally hate about spell check is, and I don't know if this happens on like iPhones, but it happens on my Android. I'll look and everything will look I'm not kidding you. Everything looks perfect. I hit send, and when the message shows up on the other end, it auto-corrected something along the way. I swear to God, the word will change between what I see on my screen and when I hit send and it pops up. And then I have to go correct it. I'm like, that's literally not what it said before I hit send. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I hate that. I hate that, especially when you're spelling somebody's name. Because if you're that's huge for me. Like when I go to Starbucks and somebody spells my name with an F, freak out. I can't stand that. Hey, Lasso, what up? Do the same thing. It looked fine. Then I hit send. I feel your pain. Lasso, thank you. So it's not me. It is totally not me. It is totally autocorrect. So for anybody new that's out there, just so you know, one of the other things that this show is all about is me completely going off topic. I love doing that because that's the one thing I love about the chat is if the chat brings in something fun to talk about, or like I said, or I have to sit here and vamp because I am waiting to see what Connor's answer is to the question. Yeah, I will sit here and vamp because I don't have a problem spending time with all you wonderful Star Trek people. The other question I have, so Shuttlepod, since we've got your attention, do you know what table reads you're going to be doing? Because I would love to suggest a couple. Trivia about Connor. If you want to know stuff about Connor, you can go watch my Connor profile. His first commercial for Club Med in the UK is in there, and it's great. It's great. Oh, cool. Singularity is one of my favorite episodes. Because it's the one where the term read alert came from. But I loved how everybody got so fixated on their own little tasks. And that little snippy fit with the read alert where Malcolm was all about the security of the ship and Trip got so razor focused on the chair. So Singularity is one of my favorites. I don't know. You guys, what else do you have? Do you have any Enterprise episodes that you'd like to see table read? I know they were talking about having John Billingsley as a guest. So I'm trying to think of like a really good Dr. Phlox episode that involved Trip and Malcolm. Let's see. He's from Walla Walla and I'm from Vancouver. Oh, well, that's very cool. Yeah, I knew he was from Walla Walla. He spent a lot of his life Oh, there we go. John's going live next. Oh, that's amazing. Yay! All right, I knew John was up for being a guest, so that's all right. Who will be a future guest you hope for Shuttlepod show? I saw John Billingsley's plan. I'm really looking forward to that. Future guest. Who will be our future? Okay. Let's see. One, I have been to Walla Walla several. You know who else is from Walla Walla? Walla Walla, Washington? Adam West is from Walla Walla, Washington. I found that out when he passed away. When he passed away. I was looking something up, and he's from. And you know what? Right after he passed away, you know how Coke put those name labels on the bottles to get you to buy them? I actually found 2 bottles, one that said Adam and one that said West, so I bought them. All right, let's see. John is Sunday. Gary Graham is the following. Vaughn Armstrong. Oh my God. He has to sing. Make Vaughn sing. That's what I want. I want Vaughn Armstrong to sing because I love the Star Trek Rat Pack, and they have that Zindi song about why Enterprise failed. Let's see. What did you find? Peter and Parker. See, it's fun when Coke puts names on the bottles. You don't look for your names. You look for like the fun names that you can play with. Let's see. Are there any other? I mean, season 4 had so many good episodes, but they were all 2 and 3 parters. I mean, and I know Connor hated that pirate accent, or I'd say In a Mirror Darkly in a second, but I know how much he hated that accent. Because he did it as a joke. And the director's like, yeah, that. Connor sort of shot himself in the foot with that one. Is Connor gonna come around and answer the question? Is he typing? Like I said, I will sit here and vamp until I get my answer, so I'm just wondering. I'm trying to think what other, like, you guys can help me out here. Like, what other good table reads could they do? 2 days and 2 nights. 2 days and 2 nights was always one of my favorite episodes. I always thought that one was really funny. If Dominic ever gets a cold and loses his voice, they could do Acquisition, because he wasn't in that one. And I always loved that one. That's one of the things I loved about Enterprise also, was they brought in the Ferengi and they brought in the Borg, neither of which ever showed up until TNG. And so everybody, but how do you do that without making it look like, how could this happen pre-TOS? But then they did it. The Ferengi, you never found out who the Ferengi were. And same thing with the Borg. They never identified themselves. So nowhere in any log or anything would the names show up. Let's see. Cerulean. Cannot wait to hear what Vaughn Armstrong has to say. 12 characters in Trek is a pretty dang. Yeah, it is pretty dang impressive. The other thing I will say about Vaughn is Enterprise Blues Band is great. You guys should go get their CDs, because it's sort of pre-Rat Pack. It's not Rat Pack, but it's still a lot of Star Trek parody stuff, and it's really awesome. There's some really good stuff. I think I have all 3 of their CDs now. Let's see. What other? See, I could sit here. So Acquisition would be fun, just from the standpoint of like if Dominic ever takes a break or needs a break or loses his voice, because I think he wasn't in it much. Nobody was. Connor could pretty much do it all by himself with a couple of people that'll just can read Archer and a couple of Ferengi. Let's see. What else? Silent Enemy has to be one of my favorites too. I've mentioned this before. I loved Silent Enemy for a lot of different reasons, and I think I've mentioned this on the show before. I too am allergic to pineapple, and I do still eat it. So I could feel Reed's pain. If there was a shot that I could take so I could eat pineapple more often, I totally would do that. Totally would do that. So Silent Enemy would be a good one. Come on, Blue, help me out here. We've got their attention. We got to figure out what we're gonna do. Hey, Podcat. Everybody say hi to Podcat. I always have to do this to him at least once if he's gonna sit on my lap. Let's see. That's another question Connor can answer, because I forgot the names of his. I figured. I know. I get that, because it's such a. It's an involved question. I understand that. So like I said, Connor, I really appreciate that you're doing this for me. Absolutely. Connor has 2 cats, and he told me what their names were in Vegas, and now I can't remember. So if he wants to tack that on the end, because I can't remember the name of his 2 cats. That's an easy question. Let's see. What else do we got going on? What other episodes? So Shuttlepod 1, what else do you guys have going on? I mean, I know that it's not just going to be table reads. I've been checking out, what you guys have brewing, and I know it's not just table reads. I know you guys have some other really cool stuff coming up. Connor's cats. Connor's got 2 cats, and he posted them on Instagram a while ago, and I asked him what their names were when I saw him in Vegas, and I completely forgot. So I'm just curious, because Podcat's sitting here, so it just made me think. So if he wants to tack that on the end. Oh, well, there you go. I think interviews done by, I love when, the interview people are the same people that did the show. I think that's going to be so much fun. If anybody who hasn't yet seen the John Billingsley telethon, when they did the Enterprise panel, which is where they announced Shuttlepod 1, Billingsley, they had moderators, but Billingsley literally took over the chat, which was great to have somebody that was there do the interviews. All right, let's see. More table reads, episode breakdowns with fans. Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be so much fun. If you're looking for applications, Shuttlepod Show, just tell me where to go. Because I could completely break down. I would love to do that. Yeah, obviously. Come here. What else? What else? What else? I know. I wasn't expecting to vamp this long. It is definitely a trend with John. This is what he does. He's amazing. I have such fond memories of John Billingsley. I met him for the first time at Mission New York. I think you guys have heard this story too, but I'm going to tell it anyway because you all know it's my show. Billingsley and I met at Mission New York, and I thought he was Ethan. I mistook him for Ethan Phillips, which I was completely mortified about, and he was very sweet about because he said it happens all the time. So he made me feel a little bit better, but he said in order for me to redeem myself, I had to go over and tell Billingsley, or I had to go over and tell Ethan that I did it. And since I really actually had something to tell Ethan Phillips, I toddled over and I completely was so embarrassed. Sorry, Dom and I got a great gift in that we were able to have a true friendship on camera, which echoed how we actually felt. Yes, that came through in absolutely everything that you guys did, and everything that you do now. I mean, the fact that you guys are doing this show together, the fact that you are the highlight of all the conventions for so many people, Connor, and you can absolutely pass that along to Dominic too. But the fact that you guys do what you do and you're still doing it 20 years later, it's so great. And I know that the fans really absolutely appreciate it. And we're just so excited that you're back and doing something new, because I know we all miss you. So thank you. And like I said, Connor, thank you for taking time. I know, it's only, it's not even quite 8 o'clock out where you are right now. So thank you so much for popping in. This was such a pleasant surprise, Shuttlepod Show. Thank you for making that happen for me. That's amazing. Connor, thank you so much. What are the name of your cats? Can you type that at least? Because I can't remember and I'm so embarrassed. I'm usually better with animal names than people names. And I'm sitting here petting, this is Kal-El. Say hi, Kal-El. AKA Podcat, because he's always here when I do the show. So it just made me realize that I couldn't remember the name of your cats, and it was just, just a little something. Because that's the way my brain works, is I like to say, okay, Kal-El, say goodbye, because you're getting a little too much in my face right now. And he's going to toddle off, and then he's going to come back, and if we're really lucky, he won't knock down the green screen again like he did a couple weeks ago, because look how perfect it is. It's actually behaving itself. Knock on wood. Shuttlepod Show, do you guys have a schedule yet? Do you know what, is it once a month? Is it every other week? Is it weekly? We would love to know. Like I said, I will be in LA this weekend, but I think I can probably carve out an hour on Sunday to take a peek and catch Billingsley on the show. Because, it's all about Phlox. Let's see, every Sunday, new episode goes live. All right, guys, every Sunday, a new episode of Shuttlepod Show is going to go live. They are on YouTube. They have their website. They are on Instagram. They are on Twitter. So you guys should all totally follow them everywhere, because it's just so much fun. Thank you for stopping in. We look forward to seeing more of the pod, and we'd love to have a premiere to do. Yes, absolutely. So if you guys could do premieres so that, so that the fans could just chat, we would absolutely love that. That would be amazing for us. We would absolutely love that. and we're so excited. Like I said, I mean, there's other shows like The Seventh Rule with Sirach, and it's such an incredible way to look at the shows through the eyes of the people that were there. It gives a whole new perspective, which as fans, I know we all enjoy. Lucas and Mia, they drive me crazy. Thanks, Steph, for letting me chime in. Connor, anytime. I absolutely love having you on the show. This was great. Such an unexpected surprise. And trust me, I know all about what it is to have cats drive you crazy. He is not the only one in my house either, so I know what it is to have cats drive you crazy. And of course, you know, Connor, I have to make a pitch. I would love to have you live on this show at some point. I know you got your own thing going on now, but you know you are welcome here anytime to chat about anything. So again, Connor, thank you so much. Thank you, Shuttlepod Show, for making this happen. Like I said, all the love, best of luck. I know you guys are going to last off past Warp 5 because I know that there are so many people out there that are really excited to see what you guys have. Yeah, they're hilarious, especially when they're driving somebody else crazy. Let's see, give Lucan a pat for us. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so back to now I'm just laughing about funny cats. Anyway, thank you guys, everybody, for stopping by. Like I said, I have tons of love for just everybody out there that's doing this. It's totally bringing the fans together. Oh, thank you, Connor, and happy Valentine's Day to you. And yeah, see, it's really funny when they're driving somebody else crazy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Then you all get to sit there and laugh. Totally. Yeah, so again, I'm here every Monday night, live at 10 o'clock. Shuttlepod Show is, like I said, I can be a Shuttlepod Show after party. I have plenty of room to be after parties for everybody. So Shuttlepod Show after party, Seventh Roll after party. It all takes place right here live every week at 10 p.m. Eastern. Let's see. Excited about Connor. We're discussing something. We're good, Blue. Any suggestions that you have for the Shuttlepod Show, like episodes you want to see table read? I am sure they would love to see you and hear about it through their Twitter account. So if you want to tweet at them or comment on one of their videos on YouTube, if you have any ideas, like they said, they're looking for suggestions for table reads. So have at it, Shuttlepod Show. I'm sure you'll be inundated. But again, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Happy Valentine's Day for everybody. It's okay. It's okay, Blue. That's okay. Like I said, tweet at them. You're fine. So you know what? Normally, I don't do this outro with the intro that I did earlier, but you know what? In honor of Shuttlepod Show, in honor of Connor Trenier, this is exactly how I'm going to say goodbye to you all. So you know what, everybody? Have a great week. Stay safe. Happy Valentine's Day. Until I see you again, live long and prosper.
Hey, this is Connor Trenier. You've been listening to the NX7062 podcast with Stephanie. Enjoy your evening.